Medieval recipes, slow-cooked beef and berries. For this recipe you will need beef, onions, garlic, red currants, salt and pepper and thyme. You can substitute your dried red currants for any other dried fruit that is relevant to the season. We're now going back into witchy mode and using our pestle and mortar to grind our black pepper. Black pepper was imported in the medieval period. It wasn't grown natively, but peasants would have used things like mustard seeds to get a similar fiery effect. We're now going to season our beef with salt. Salt was available in the medieval period, however it was mostly imported. In coastal areas they would burn off seaweeds and other coastal plants to extract the salt and winnow it to get rid of the ash. This was known as salt ash and was used even by the lowest members of society. We are also adding our peppercorns and rubbing that firmly into the meat. Next we heat a pan to the highest heat your cooker can get to and add a knob of butter just until it starts to melt and brown. Once that's completely melted and sizzling, sear each side of your beef until it's well browned. Once it's browned, take it out and leave it on a plate for a couple of seconds to rest. Now it's on to our meat enhancing vegetables. Cut your onions finely and then crush your garlic. It doesn't matter if you cut these up any finer because it's all going to dissolve in the 3 hours of cooking time. Take a large heavy-based oven-proof pot, I'm using cast iron, and use your vegetables to make a bed in the bottom of the pan for the beef to sit on. Break up your onion chunks into fine strands. Then place your beef on top of your vegetables. Next you want to add a few sprigs of thyme, and then your red currants. Cranberries, blueberries and other dried fruits would be perfectly acceptable in this recipe. Next you want to add your beef stock. The level of the beef stock should come about 2/3 of the way up your joint and incorporate all the ingredients. You then want to place this into an oven at about 180 degrees C with the lid on for about 3 hours, turning the joint over halfway through. Remove any binding twine and by this point it should have melted down wonderfully and started to pull apart. I'm serving this with a nice 100% rye bread to soak up the juices. Rye bread was very common at the time as a form of middle-class bread. Wheat was reserved for the highest members of society and oat bread was for the very lowest members of society and monastic monks. I hope you enjoy this lovely, slightly higher class meal compared to our pottage. Please let me know what you think of it and feel free to follow me if you'd like any more food or historical costuming content. Bye!